In Wiltshire, Miss Bridget Park has a garden to relax and potter about in.
One's whole point of starting this garden really was a sort of therapeutic thing, because when one comes back exhausted from cooking, which I do for my living, I find it super to come back and mow the lawn, or perhaps turn the hosepipe on, water the vegetables and things like that. But I never wanted it to be something that I was going to have to worry about continually. And so I then thought, well, the only thing to do is to grow everything absolutely higgledy-piggledy. And my friends were a bit inclined to call it organised chaos. I don't think very organised. And so I plant all the borders as close as they can. And although they're full of weeds, you don't really see them. And so with any luck, the general effect is a lot of colour, and colour running all through the year, which I find is fun. I think it all started really about 12 years ago, when I bought this little tiny derelict cottage. First year, one started on trying to get the lawn going a little bit, because I have a great theory that if the lawn's tidy and mown, everything else looks slightly better. It doesn't, but it's the general appearance is slightly better. And then gradually one did different bits, from pinching little cuttings out of one's friend's garden, and one's friend's super giving one little bit. And really it evolved from there.
You don't need to be in the countryside to create a country garden. Some people manage right in the middle of a city. In a mews near Knightsbridge, Mrs. Coate gardens on the pavement.
The effect that I'm trying to get is of an English cottage country garden. That's to say, although it is contrived, it mustn't look contrived. So I get my effect mainly by using silver plants as a background and then placing against them, because they are a foil for colours, a series of coloured plants which all have a relationship with each other. It's not just anything here and there, because then you'll find a thing is out of balance, and it's like a painting. Actually, I got this idea some years ago when Hardy Amis, talking on Woman's Hour about the well-dressed woman in those days of elegance, when people didn't wear screaming colours, everything was gentle and soft. And he said, a really well-dressed woman wears 3 colours. And one must not startle. You must not be startled, but they must blend and do things to each other. And this illustrates the theme, the idea which is behind my assortment of colours, and shows you quite clearly that pansy looks far more beautiful against the pink and linked up with the dark one here. You see the same sort of colours, and yet that blue plays a part in it. It makes this deep and rich, and the same applies to all these pinks here. And here is a pink coming out. This is one of my lucky strikes. I didn't know what that's going to be, and that picks up that colour. And so the idea is to use colour not as an absolute thing, but relative. Colours must be relative. And if they are carefully matched together, put together, the beauty of each one is enhanced.
Harmony. The town dweller's memory of the country garden, the dream he tries to recreate. But this is the real thing. It's at Great Tew, in Oxfordshire.
How long have you lived in this cottage, Mrs. Coleman?
Oh, just over 50 years.
And what was the garden like when you first came here?
Oh, terrible. You couldn't call it a garden. The ashes were nearly in the doorway.